Bujuanin, this is part three of the course that's Native American art techniques through the Red Cliff Outreach side of the Ojibwe community, Ojibwe College, and just because of all the things that are occurring and happening with the coronavirus, we have to look at different ways in order to provide instruction to the students. Some of the teachers or instructors will be doing things over the Zoom, online, perhaps trying to do a one-on-one to smaller groups. And what I decided to do again is to have this type of um, lesson on YouTube to show the the different techniques with the projects that are being assigned. This is the kind of course where it has to be a hands-on kind of thing rather than trying to do something like a lecture or presentation in that manner. And so far what was talked about is the projects with the midterm that consisted of just doing a string of beads. And again, the reason that I do that assignment is just to get people kind of in the mood, kind of in the thinking about, when doing beadwork and sometimes some of the challenges that are there. The word that we have in our Anishinaabe Moen for bead is Manadoins, which means like little spirit. So they're considered little spirits, and we have to treat them with such respect because of that being the little spirits, and they go into other things that create bigger things like moccasins and medallions and maybe headbands and stuff like that. Um, then there was the daisy chain, there was the medallion, and then the final project for the midterm was to do a picture utilizing the teaching so far with the woodland or floral design perhaps, and integrating that in there. And so those were the midterm. So far for the projects leading up to the final project is the assignment about doing a dream catcher. And again, you can go out and gather your own. Don't forget, offer your tobacco. We do have some of these that are available at the cabin for your use if you can't make it out to get those. The other part then is doing two different types of bags. One, you could use that stitching that I mentioned about the cowboy stitch, or the other kind of stitch. I can't think of it right offhand. The blanket stitch. And so that's how this is done. And then from there, it does create a pouch like this. Again, it's plain and simple, but yet you can add things to it, to make it unique and make it your own. The other part then is doing a bag with the beaded edging around it. And again, like I said, when I did this first, it was like this, and I thought it just needed to have something, so I put some fringe on there, and then I had this magazine applique that I put on there, and it just really dressed it up a lot. And so this is you could either do two of these like this, two of these like this, one and one, up to you. But the idea is to have two smaller bags. The other piece is again, given the uniqueness of this semester with the things that are going on worldwide, nationwide, statewide, and down tribal-wide with this coronavirus, is having to look at different ways to be able to share the teachings, and hopefully that this will be enough to help you learn some different techniques with the native art. Again, everybody that does it has their own little ways, so what I'm sharing with you is a way that can help you learn, and then from there you might turn around and create some of your own, or you might learn from somebody else. And so I mentioned about the bags, you know, the mashkiki mode, mashkiki mushkimo dance, medicine bag, or little medicine bag. There's a like a bigger one and then a smaller one. And as we look at you know, the different teachings that are out there, again, each community might have a little different perspective on things. In myself, with learning from the different elders throughout the years, you know, a lot of it was Anishinaabe, but then it kind of turned into then Red Cliff Anishinaabe. So for the medicine bags, what they would also talk about is having jibik. Now the jibik actually means root, but when you look at the roots and you consider those, many of the roots are used to make medicines, you know, to address the different ailments. And so in Red Cliff, when they would mention about jibik, it's like, you know, your medicine. And so in the social setting, especially at the bingos, they would ask each other, well, did you bring your jibik? Or did you rub your jibik before you came to the bingo? And of course, they'd laugh and laugh. And so, you know, utilizing these, maybe they will be your asema mashkamod, your tobacco bag, or maybe your jibik mashkamodins, or your little medicine bag. It's up to you. But for the final project, then, it's encouraging you with the different techniques that have been introduced in this course, is to make then a bigger bag. And again, what this represents is the floral design, which you know, learn with your medallion part, and having this black background or a background. And then taking it a step further, that if you wanted to create like some leaves, you know, again, this was put on felt, and there was a beaded design that was put on there, and then there was you know, sort of an edging that was put on. So one part is, you know, figuring out, planning, designing this part, and then from there, designing how you want your bag to look when it's finished. And so what I did was, after I got the front kind of developed, then I thought about the back, how I wanted the backing put on, and I cut a piece of leather that was that would hold the applique part, but also there'd be some that I could use that I could put fringe on there. And so after I got the beading done, after I cut the leather and put it together, I put this edging around here, and then I cut these for fringe. And then for the strap, again, you can do a lot of different ways, but in order to show one of those different ways is taking the crow beads, you know, and being able to utilize them as the strap. So you could make it long enough that you could like have it put over your shoulder, or you could have it fixed so that, you know, it maybe if you give it to as a gift to a dancer, that they might attach this to their regalia. In this day and age, you know, we have different elements that our ancestors didn't have. So like one of the common things that's used, you know, in this day and age is this artificial sinew, but it's very strong. So that when I did the strap on here, it was doubling this so that it would be, you know, have that strength, but being able to use that. And so it's looking at, you know, those different things that are available to us now, in the combination of different things. When I talked about the dream catcher before, Bawajige Nagwagan, it's, you know, that dream catcher and the reference to the dream catcher. And so what I did was, and I'm hoping you can see the picture okay, is I did make a little medicine bag, but in the center of that, I did that dream catcher with beads and then decorated with some fringe. And I was asked to give my one granddaughter, Ava Angeline, her spirit or Indian name. And as I went through that process of doing that, what I come up with was Bawajige Nagwaganekwe, Dreamcatcher Woman. And so when I made this, what I actually made it for was that her belly button would be put in here, and that would be with her throughout her life to help her, decide or help her be on her journey and what her purpose is. So again, we just think of this just as like a little bead, but Manadoyance, a little spirit that goes into a lot of things, that represents a lot of things and a lot of teachings. Remember when you're doing this to try to have good thoughts, heart, mind, body, and soul. Try to be within balance. Perhaps maybe you might, before you start, want to smudge with sage, maybe offer tobacco up. If you're working on some projects with beadwork, remember that teaching about putting an odd bead in there, because that, helps carry on those traditions so that they can continue on to the next generation, the next 7 generations. It's been a real honor and privilege to be your instructor through this course. And even though the course will end, eventually, I'm still available. If you need or want any questions, want any resources, want anything else after this class is done, by all means, feel free to contact me. I would just encourage you to offer your tobacco. Gigawaba min min o gishigad nongo.